Hi guys, welcome to Babe Talks, a podcast about life and all its experiences. Welcome again to another episode. Guys, I feel like it's been a while. Anyway, how was your week? Mine has been amazing. And let me see what stood out for me since we last had our previous episode. First of all, we started an Instagram page at Beep Talks. So guys, come follow us, engage with our content, because I think I'm going to be asking like some questions, trying to engage with people here and there to see what they want to hear, to just have a conversation and just build an organic audience. So guys, follow at Babe Talks on Instagram, and just feel free to engage every time there needs an engagement. And another thing that stood out for me actually was, sometimes like you make this podcast and think no one is actually listening. Are people enjoying? There is always that question at the back of my mind. So this week, someone called me and like, when are you releasing the next episode? It's been 2 weeks and you're not releasing. Guys, I've not felt so happy. I just know I'm on the right path. I'm doing a good thing. If people can be able to even call you to remind you that it's been a while since you uploaded, it's just amazing to know that there is impact here and there. So guys, comment on all the platforms that you're listening from, share, subscribe, follow, whatever the case. So today's episode is about the power of choice, and definitely I am going to give you a story because I love stories. If you're new here, you should know that I actually love telling stories. I like giving a background of a perspective that I had before and how it has evolved over time to what I am thinking or the kind of space I am in that particular moment. Let us go back to the very beginning, when I was born. So guys, when I was born, I didn't have a choice. Anyway, I'm joking about that. And okay, am I joking? Am I really? I don't think I was joking, but anyway, when I was younger, like I didn't know anything about choice, and obviously when you're young, everything is dictated by your parents, and basically my mom, my dad made the choices of anything that involved me, starting from my clothes, what I ate, and just like any other child, just like any other baby, you're just like doing anything that they're telling you to do. Actually, me and my young sister used to always like dress like twins. Like we used to have the same exact clothes. I don't know if any of you like shared that with your siblings, and if there was a variance in the kind of outfit that we wore, it was the same cloth but different color maybe. So we had no choice. We're just growing and living life. By the way, I miss those twin outfits because like right now my sister doesn't like putting on the same things as me. And the funny thing is that for me, that's what I want. Naima, back to the choice aspect, the food, the schools we went to, where we slept, and etc. And they definitely chose for us what they thought was best for us. But as I grew up, I started wanting to make my own decisions. Definitely, as you grow up, you start gaining awareness and you start liking things and not liking things. And then you want to decide that this is how I want to live my life. This is what I want to wear. This is what I want to eat. So I wanted to choose the school I went to. But guys, I had a tough mother. I still have a tough mother, and I want to go to this school, I want to eat this, dictating for her. I vividly remember a scenario whereby I used to like playing cards with my siblings and my friends, and every time I bought cards, my mom would ban them. Like she would find them and ban them, and then I would buy them again. And by that time, cards were 500 shillings anyway. And I think it's ironic that I used to afford 500 shillings back then, and now it's Anyway, it seemed like my mother was a dictator, and I wanted to do something and she wanted me to do the other. And there's a way you feel deprived, like, why don't you let me live my life, or the kind of life that I want to live? My mom knew everything that we were watching 24/7. She knew everything that we were doing. Like, even watching TV, we used to fear. When she was there, like, she was keen to know, what are you watching? Does it glorify God? And it's time to sleep, it's time to eat, it's time for all these things. And I just always wanted to be able to make my choices. Can't a girl just be able to make her choices? I even remember, like, when it's time for food, it's time for eating food. Me, I don't like matoke. Me, I don't like this. I actually get shocked when I see, like, children throwing tantrums over food. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm like, hey, you guys have a choice at this age. For us, it was time to eat. You have to eat, unless maybe you are allergic to, like, the food, like, proven by a doctor. But unless otherwise, those things of refusing were not there. So fast forward, as I grew, I went to high school, and that adolescence age. Yeah. That is where the power of choice actually comes to fight. So it was a fight for dominion and control over my life. And you can seem like these parents don't understand. Guys, I fought emotionally, I fought spiritually, I fought mentally with the power of choice. But remember, the parent is the one who is in charge and is the one controlling the kind of life that you want to live, which I think, like, looking back in hindsight, it's actually, like, not that bad. But when I was there in that period, it was crazy. You see, like, the cool kids used to, like, go for plot, but for us, like, we were not allowed to leave home. Like, during the holiday, people are going going way to the different places. For me, as long as you were at home, you are not allowed to leave the gate. I felt deprived. I felt like I was suffocating. Now the funniest thing is, it's not even funny. Like, right, I can say it's funny, but it wasn't actually funny. We weren't allowed to have fun. And I remember that time, like, everyone in high school seemed to have a phone. Like, what was that? And now for us here, we're not allowed to have phones. And it seemed like it was depressing. And anyone who has strict parents can relate to me. So I used to wish I was an adult to make, like, certain decisions. And I remember vividly deciding that when I make 18 years, hey, everything will be up to me to decide. Fast forward, I made 18. And guess what? I was still in high school. I think it was around S6, yeah. And everyone is still bossing me around the school. Remember, I was in boarding. The teacher, the matron, everyone, everything, like, it was still so rowdy, and I didn't have the power to exercise choice like I thought. Then I'm like, don't worry, campus is coming. So I finished S6 and I'm eagerly waiting for campus so that I can have a life of my own. Hey, tell me why COVID hits. And I was stuck at home with my parents. And yeah, guys, like, when you see me laughing in this episode, it's not actually funny. It was alarming, yeah. So anyway, not that I wanted to do the most rowdy things in campus. I just wanted the level of independence that I could not get at home. I just wanted to be able to decide that this is what I want for my life and this is not what I want for my life, yeah. So I was, like, depressed that COVID time, but nevertheless, I did my first semester online and went physically in the second semester of my first year. And that's where I think I got the chance to exercise the power of choice. And I was so happy, And it's when now the reality hit that every choice I made had its own consequence. Remember, now I'm making the choices knowingly, and then I am facing the repercussions of these choices on my own. I was like, okay, this is not what I expected. But then I realized, like, I have to be careful with the kind of choices I made, because, like, it would either break you or build you depending on the the choice that you made. And over the last couple of years, I've seen things unfolding depending on the choices I made actually. One of the consequences that is actually positive was me graduating. Guys, I remember in my, I think, second year, I contemplated dropping out of school, and it was serious. I know everyone has been there. If you have not thought about dropping out of school and you're in campus, you're strong, eh? Like, if it wasn't for fear of my parents, I would have, I think, dropped out. But I knew I had no other option. I was tired. I couldn't take it anymore. Like, that is one of the toughest decisions that I had to make. But then I had to choose to persist, and yeah, I made it. Like, thank God. I had to persist and make that choice. Underline the word choice here, guys. And when I graduated, I have never been that happy. But I thank God I made the right choice to stay in school, like, at that time, because there are many people who have actually, like, dropped out at a certain point, and yeah, I would understand, or I can't judge at this point. Recently, I was having a conversation with a friend about choice, and he argued that sometimes we don't have a choice. And I get that, especially under the guidance of our parents who dictate, for example, the kind of courses that we do, the kind of schools that we go to. So I told him that after the age of 18 years, it means that you're an adult and you're eligible to make your own decisions, right? And yes, if you fear your parents and do maybe the course and do these other things that they, decide for you, that is also out of your own choice. Not making a choice is your choice. If you choose to fear them and follow the path they want you to follow, it's actually your own choice. You cannot blame it on them. Yes, I believe that to an extent we may not have a choice on what happens in our lives. For example, when it comes to sickness, when it comes to life and death, getting a job, etc. Definitely, it's God who decides how the trajectory of our life happens, yeah? But remember, He gave us a free will to exercise decision making and be able to get like different outcomes. So recently, I was watching a show called Bump Love. Shout out to you, Bump Love. I really love Bump Love. And one of the ladies made a life-altering statement. She said something like, let me paraphrase. She said, the life you're living today is a result of the decision you made 2 or 3 years ago. And yeah, I totally agreed with her, because the choices we make today will affect us for the next 2 to 5 years and even a lifetime to come. Like, we don't know how long they can affect us. And the life you are living currently is definitely because of what we did 2, 3, 5, or even more years ago. Therefore, we should be very careful and intentional with even the smallest details when making choices, because the repercussions will either make or even break us eventually. I've made very many choices in my life, and some led to very disastrous repercussions, by the way. But I choose to focus on the good choices that I've made. The best choice I've made in my life is accepting and confessing Jesus Christ as my personal Lord and Savior. And for that, very many other blessings have followed me, and I've seen transformation in my life. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19 says, this day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you, so that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. So definitely there are very many choices that have to be made in our lives. We cannot run away from choices, because every step that we take actually requires us to make a choice. And remember, that choice comes with a specific consequence. Not even specific, it can come with very many consequences, yeah? So I pray that you shall be able to make the right decisions. And as I conclude, I want to ask you guys, are there any choices that you've made that you regret? What is the best choice that you have ever made? Please share in the comment section and on our Instagram page. And until then, see you on the next episode of Beep Talks.